Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts,
Lecter George,
and Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
We continue our coverage of Red Country, Joe's third standalone and the next First Law entry. And this week, we bring you a special episode, our usual mid-book review. So, let's get started. As usual, folks, you know, we just gotta thank you for your continued support. Continued support. Continued support.
Oh, we haven't heard the song in a while, Jeffrey. Honestly, the last couple times I've been wondering. I was like, where's it at?
I try to break it out every once in a while. Doing great. People, seems to our numbers are climbing, and our Discord group that's going strong. I mean, that thing is lit up every time I check in there. That's great.
It's mostly my drunken rambling, to be honest, and then people responding to my drunken rambling, which is fine.
George, you're always so self-deprecating. That is only a quarter of it.
Yeah, it's only a quarter of it, I will say. And you did have one just like last night or the night before, right? I think I peeped.
I think it might have been Friday night. Me and Craig McGee, we were having an argument again. That does happen quite often.
You guys, you weren't having an argument.
No, we agreed this time. Actually, no, yeah, we did.
Yeah, you were agreeing.
Also, he's corrected us on something, by the way, that we, as the premier First Law podcast, we should have known this. So we were saying that crease is called crease because it's like in a crease in the mountain. It's not called that at all. It's called that because that's in a crease on the map.
Yeah.
How did you know that? Why didn't you correct me?
It's in the book. Wait, you said that?
Yeah. Well, I just said something completely wrong, and I was just like, okay, fair enough.
Oh, you said that on the episode?
Yeah.
And I didn't correct you?
Nobody correct. We didn't know. So
I'm sorry.
I was thinking how it was both, to be honest. But I was thinking, I'm like whenever you said it's kind of like a crease. I mean, it is kind of a crease, isn't it? It's in the crease in the mountains. It's kind of like in the valley. Like it is, but it's called crease because it's the crease of the map.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, Croker, thank you for pointing that out.
No,
we'll
don't thank him.
He's
obviously the enemy now. I'm just kidding. Your intelligence is far beyond most of ours here at the Circle War podcast, other than maybe George, who you corrected, which proves your dominance. So now you're the most intelligent person in the Discord. Anyways.
Oh my god. Are we gonna get into the whole IQ rating thing? Okay.
We're not. I'm just being stupid.
IQ supremacy and whatnot. That's popular.
Definitely not.
We just want to thank everybody that supports us just by downloading and listening to our episodes and following the podcast. Really do appreciate it. We will ask you to continue to subscribe to our social media platforms, please. Come on. You want to do it, folks. You just
do need to start posting there more again, but
yes.
Yes.
We're going to start doing sneak peeks on that as well, so that we'll upload a little clip from the episode that's upcoming rather than the one that's already come out, because nobody wants to see that. You've already seen it,
Oh,
wait, that's what we normally do, right?
No, I usually just do the one for the. Oh, have I been doing that wrong the whole time?
I've got no clue.
Wait, you've been putting up clips of previous episodes the week we release a new episode? You're hilarious.
Oh,
I am.
You're so funny. Oh God! You know what? I'm gonna have to.
This is why I said I shouldn't be in charge of the social media. I got us banned from Reddit. I put the wrong stuff up all the time. It took me a year to do a video.
It's true. It's true. Jeffrey did say he was going to take over, so it's really Jeffrey's fault for not.
It is. I'm going to have to step back in and assert more control.
You have to get personally involved.
I'm going to have to do it. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to lay down the whole dictatorship aspect here is going to have to come back in full throttle. Sorry. George, we'll figure something out for you. A job to do. You got to get back to just the Inquisition. That's what you got to get back to. Okay.
The drunken rambling. That's what it is.
That's what it is. The guy that worked for the Inquisition somehow anti-government conspiracies. That's crazy. Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah, folks. So please subscribe to our social media platforms and to our YouTube page. We've gotten better. Now our episodes are live there as well, and sorry, folks, there's a thunderstorm going on back here, so if you hear that, Sorry. I'll try to edit it.
You hear that? Run.
Fucking hell, nature. God damn
it. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Our episodes are up on YouTube now automatically. And that's about it. So we'll move on to our episode, which is, folks, we love to stop yapping about the book, at least in terms of the chapters in the middle of the book, to talk about the book so far. So let's talk about it. Boys, what do you want to highlight first things, first?
I just in general like this book for the fact that it's so much more different to the rest of every other First Law book, like just for the structure and the way that the story is laid out, and it's a little bit more traditional. And I just think for that, it makes it so much more, well, not more interesting, but I don't know. It's like comfy, it's cozy to read Red Country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. I feel the opposite.
What do you feel?
Red Country is not. I don't think it's my least favorite, but I don't like it as much as the others. But I don't like it for the other reason, which is like I don't like how it's so carried by everything else in the series. Like in terms of like my actual enjoyment, I enjoy it a lot, but like rating it on its own is basically impossible. People say you can, but it's not really a standalone. You can't.
What do you mean? You can.
You can read.
You could read Red Country on its own, and then you just be like, "Yeah, but why is any of this relevant? Why is it important that this guy called Lamb is a psychopath? Like, it doesn't really matter." Like,
yes, that's what I mean. It's like, yes, it's a good story and it's entertaining. It's more traditional, and it is cozy and comfy. Because but it's not cozy and comfy to First Law readers, because
it's cozy and comfy to me.
It is to me.
All right.
I love Red Country. I love Red Country.
Now, the reason why I say that is because, like you said, like with Logan, would you really enjoy the book as much if you didn't know his backstory? Would you? I don't think you would. I know I wouldn't.
You're saying if I read Red Country cold, right, and I was introduced to Lamb, and he's like, "Oh, coward," and then he just turns out to be a fucking psychopath. I'd be like, I would want to know more about this guy. Then, yeah,
sure, of course, but you're not getting it in this book, are you?
No, you're not. But you're getting hints, and it's very intriguing, right? I think like that, where he's vague about some answers and stuff about his past. Talking about like he has experience in the circle, and he was a king, or that kind of stuff later on. That's obviously later in the book. But
name all the characters who are not inside of the other books that are like relevant to the story, not just like the random side characters of the one up.
In this book,
I can think of in this book. I think Dab Sweet.
You think he's relevant to what, like the entire First Law series?
No, I'm saying somebody who is new to the series in this book. Who isn't like just kind of a random character? You know what I mean?
Shy South.
The Shy South and Temple. Yeah.
Right.
Corlin and Savian.
Yeah, kind of.
Well,
they're one of his weaker.
Then they tie into the whole rebellion thing as well.
They tie into the rebellion.
They do.
You kind of want to have to know the context behind it. It's like there's a reason why there's a rebellion happening, and it's because the Union is a shit place.
Right. And then listen, I'll say this. I mean, I wish you get more of Corlin. I wish you get more of Corlin, right? But Savian, for like his screen time, his page time, I guess we'll call it, his limited page time. I mean, that's a man I'd fight for, especially when the Fellowship, that we're about to fight the Ghost, and he's like, "Stand for something or die for nothing." Let's go.
That's true. That's true. But the fact that you can count the number of characters that haven't been in another story that are actual characters on your hand, your two hands at most. That's why I think the book, to me, the book is really fun and really enjoyable, and I love it as part of the First Law series, and it's very integral. But I do think it's the weakest, not the worst, but I think it's the weakest of his books because of that.
Wait, you think Red Country is the weakest out of all those books? George, we need to kill him. We need to kill him.
Well, even Sharp Ends.
Sharp Ends.
Don't even
get me started.
Let's not start talking about Age of Madness now.
We'll get there. That's just my opinion. Everyone's gonna disagree. People love Red Country. I totally get it. I like Red Country too, a lot. But whenever I read it, I can't help but think, like how much more I'm enjoying it because look at that cameo. And I know he's not doing that on purpose. Like he's creating a story and he's using these leftover characters and he ties it all in very well. I'm not saying it against Joe. I don't know if that makes sense.
I do kind of agree with you now that I'm thinking about it because I'm like, the whole thing with Koska is like, Koska just seems like a complete madman if you just take it out of context. It's just like, this guy is fucking nuts.
Without Bester Cold and before the hanged, he's a fucking psychopath.
But you know what, though? Here's the thing. I hear what you're saying. I do. But I think, like, The Heroes and Best Served Cold, Red Country is a story. It's a tight story, very specific setting, timeline, time period, with specific characters. It's its own independent story, but if you're reading Red Country, or you're reading The Heroes, or you're reading Best Served Cold, unless you're a goofball, you're reading that because you've already read the original trilogy.
No, I agree with you. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that.
No one just picks up Red Country. He's gonna be like, never seen this guy before. Let me go pop this in. You know what I mean?
You say that, but remember that person started Best Served Cold.
Well, that person's a psychopath. That person.
Maybe they just see a book and they see like fucking, this is a Western. I'll pick this up and.
Yeah, all right. Because like Tom started on Best Served Cold, didn't he?
Who?
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. That's how
he started. Yeah, he started on Best Served Cold. Listen, I'm just saying
we like Taco Tuesdays. Both the day and
the event, yeah. But to be totally clear, the same things that make it to me weak are also the things that make it great because like you get so much extra of these characters that you wouldn't normally get, and no other author would probably no other author, but I don't think very many authors integrate all these characters into a new story without completely destroying the integrity of the story they're trying to make. So well, like he does it really, really well. To his props. You guys caught me in my beginning statement.
All right.
Continue.
Sorry.
So,
if you want to continue,
no. That's it. That's basically all I wanted to say. Is basically like the thing that makes this book really weak and really, but also like really fun is the same thing. It's the fact that he has all these other characters that are better or different in this book, while still being the same character in the same universe, and are all done really well.
Well, what I really like about this book, I mean, obviously, I fucking love Red Country. Fucking love it. I think it does really well in the fact that it's really just Shy and Temple's perspectives that we get. And there are only really two perspectives we get besides Ro, the occasional Ro, right?
Yeah.
And then we get, obviously, like, some other perspectives, but, like, those are one-offs. But basically, the story, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'll say there's more other perspectives. This is like rather, whereas in the other books they're all contained to like one chapter. You see their perspective once and then you just move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this one, you see characters' perspective multiple times.
Well, yeah, I mean like Ro, and
but you see like all of the captains like Joubert and Dimbick and that. You see their perspective multiple times.
That's right in the company.
Okay, not one-offs, but maybe a few times.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. But my point is like
mostly
the crux of the story is Temple and Shy and Temple, right? And I think it's very well done, written, like how, what their end goals are, what their perception is of like their place in the circle of the world. Name shout out. But I do think like the addition of side characters, new and old, right? Lamb being that he's that character now that is like, oh my God, from the, when people like, love to hate him or hate to love him, whatever, from the original trilogy, he's anchoring a lot of that like tension for the reader. Because you just never like now you're saying like we're at the point now where it's like, oh, he's about to snap for any which way, right? But then you see, you see Shivers like popped up, you see Casca, and we see Casca's descent into like, it's that classic thing where you see somebody and they're always like a fun time, but they're bad with money, but they drink a lot, but they're very charismatic, that kind of thing. And you see like there's like always a certain end for that kind of person. And we're seeing that play out now in real time because he's in the end stage of that, Casca. Right, and then we see Carlot, but then we see Dab Sweet, Crying Rock, Savian, Corlin. We see Hedges, who's gonna he's gonna have a little, he's gonna have a certain something to add here eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wish he wouldn't, but
wish he wouldn't. Wish he wouldn't.
Should have died at us wrong, Hedges.
So, and just like obviously all the Western tropes that are in here, but then we get to Crease, and like I know I've said this more than once, but there is a very Deadwood-esque feel to it, just like that kind of settlement and like where it's like why people are going there, the people that go there, what's the everyday life like there. There's we'll get to it. I don't know if it's too spoilery to talk about. You let me know. I'll cut it out. But the next chapter that we were gonna do, when they're in Camling's hostelry, right? Hostelry, and the guy Camling, whatever, he reminds me of E.B. Farnham. From which Harrison, he has a very like face, but George, you get it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, E.B. Farnham here, folks, at your service. How can I service you and yet also try to rob you in a very obvious way? And yes, I got sweaty palms. It's just so funny. So I just honestly, Red Country is just it's a perfect ending for Lamb. Wink, wink. About as good of an ending for generally everybody, right? Obviously, except for a very certain number of people. But it's a more positive ending, I think. I guess, right?
Yeah, it's definitely walking off into the sunset kind of typical Western trope thing. But it's, again, Joe Abercrombie,
right? His style, and we can't talk about it right now. This is the mid-book review, but I'm liking it so far. How everything's being built up. George, what are your thoughts about Red Country? Harrison, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Okay. Built up very well.
George, your thoughts?
Like I said before, I like the fact that it's a more focused story, like you said. Just Shy and Temple's perspectives. Obviously, they're both brand new characters. They're not really like any other characters that Joe's done before. They're more. I say Shy isn't that innocent, but Temple isn't really that innocent either. But they both actually tend to be trying to do good.
They're trying a lot harder. They care a lot more.
Yeah, but then that's obviously cut up by every other character who is just a piece of shit. Like every other POV. Well, not every other POV. A lot of the people in the Fellowship are just ordinary people. But all the captains and Kokoska and all the Inquisition people are just absolute slimy bastards. And so the contrast there is fantastic. And I love the fact that it's sort of like a chase, because we know that the company is following on, and that they're kind of like just behind them, even if they're not really aware of it. Well, Temple hasn't even spoken about it or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that as well. That there's sort of just like this creeping feeling that the company's like, it could be right behind you,
Yeah,
like it'll catch up.
I didn't think about that. I never really thought about that aspect. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's good thoughts. Good thoughts, George. I mean, yeah, I mean, look, Red Country. To Harrison's point, I guess online it is one of the more divisive books. Is that true? Or is it generally like, do people like Red Country?
It's either people say about Red Country, but all the standalones are either so it's like Best of Cold. Either it's like one of your favorites, or it's like your least favorite. You hate it.
I feel like with Best of Cold, people really like it, or they have a problem with Monza. Like that's the two groups there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Whereas with Red Country, either you just don't like the style, or you love it. So, who do you guys think? Because we only have two. Normally, we kind of break down each of the characters, but who do you guys think is like of Shy and Temple? And we know we still have some more to like learn about them, but we've actually, I mean, I don't think it's spoilers to say we pretty much have learned everything about them that we need to learn. They learned some things about each other, but we pretty much know everything already. Like, in terms of how do you think they stack up against his other characters in the series? Obviously, Logan and Glocta are like the goats, but how do you think they stack up to everybody else?
Since they are really, I really like Temple. I think he's a really solid character. I think because he's had so much fucking tragedy in his life. Like he's a dead wife and dead daughter, and all these failed careers, and he's just sort of like floating around doing all these bad things for Koska and the company, and he's sort of even at the beginning, he's just like, "Oh, I don't know if I should be doing this. This seems wrong."
Yeah.
Which you don't really get from any other character, because all the other characters are like, "Yeah, this is wrong, but I've got to do it anyway."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Temple especially is probably one of the more sympathetic characters that Joe's written.
Yeah. Yeah.
Temple can do no wrong. No wrong.
Well, he does wrong.
He
Does
does
something
wrong.
wrong.
I
He does
forgive
something
him.
wrong. You forgive him. Yeah. And Shy, I think she stacks up well too. Like as one in terms of like a character that's written well. Yeah, I think she's written really well. Obviously, she has a shady past that she's kind of like alluded to.
Yeah, but like,
but not really a lot. What were you gonna say?
I mean, she doesn't. To be honest, I mean, I'll talk about. Let's talk about more openly here, because she doesn't really talk about it too much more. We get
Right.
more from Sharp Ends, and
Yeah.
I know we're not there yet, but I will say, like, you can tell that she is most certainly a good person who took a wrong path
Yeah.
and then found her way back and beats herself up for it every day.
Yeah.
Whereas Temple did it over and over again. She did it like once, had one bad run, and is like, I have to pay it back. I'm a bad person for like all of eternity. So like, I like that about her a lot. Like how she feels so like she didn't genuinely feels like a good person who just doesn't even realize that like her mistake is like inconsequential compared to like people like Logan or even Temple. And so I think that is like sad that she's so guilt ridden by a couple of mistakes she made, even though the only people she even killed were people who were, they were her friends, but they weren't good people. Whereas, everybody else has been murdering people for half their life.
Yeah. Well, and I agree. I agree. And that does like add like weight to her character, And I think she is a very well written character. I love how like so like ready she is to like strike up a deal, right? Or like to what are we doing? How can I make sure I don't get fucked over in this exchange no matter what? She's quick with it. She's funny. She harasses Temple, right, with the debts. It's funny to me. Yeah,
their sort of like chemistry is so good as well. Just like the second that they see each other, and he's like,
right off.
"Are you an angel?" And she's like, "No."
Yeah.
Yo, George, you're right though. You're right, George. As soon as they meet each other, bam, right? They just work off each other so well.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say too, like that's an aspect, right? Temple and Show, they have like some of the best like written like chemistry that Joe ever has, honestly.
Yeah, their dynamic is really good. Their dynamic is really, really good. For sure.
And the other thing that I find really, really strange about Temple and Shy as well is that out of all the Joe's characters, they're probably the least violent. Like neither of them really get into a fight in this book where they have to kill anyone. Not really.
Right.
Well,
Temple definitely is the like least violent for sure. But I will say Shy is she's not violent, but she'll defend herself and she'll not hesitate to defend herself. Right,
but at the same time, like every other of Joe's characters, like Monza or Logan or even someone like West or Glock, they're the kind of the violence is just like, we're just gonna do this. This is how it's gonna go. Whereas when Shy is in that in when they're in the pub is it in Averstock where he kills those two guys.
Yeah,
she's like she has to work herself up to it, and she's like, oh, I don't really want to, but we've got to find out what's going on. And
right, that's true. Right, and all she's does about it. And then at that time, all she does is like hold the kid, not hostage, but holds him while Lamb does his thing, and then Lamb goes to like hang the fucking kid, and she's like, "What are you doing? Stop!" And this is like this guy is this kid or whatever. He's part of the group that killed Gully, right? Gully, and stole Roe and Pitt. And you would think she'd want revenge, but she just cares about getting them back, really. So
yeah.
Which again is a very there's a lot of vengeance in Joe's books. So for a character to be out to not necessarily take vengeance, but just to put things right, and you like say get the kids back, and that's all she cares about, and that's it's quite wholesome actually if you think about it, except for the whole kidnapping children. But
except for the whole
that's not wholesome at all.
That's not wholesome. No. That's the antithesis of wholesome, I think. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's take a moment here to highlight our community interaction segment, folks. As you know, for now, what we're doing is just shouting out the memeing every chapter festival that's going on over there at the House of the Meme Maker subreddit, hosted by yours truly, Sir Spaceman. He's killing it out there. How's it going over there, boys?
Jeff, doesn't yours truly mean me?
Yeah, it does. I slipped up there.
I was gonna say, I was like, you're not the spaceman. What are you talking about?
You know what? Wait a minute.
You're trying to do some stolen valor.
Yeah. So, no, I slipped up. Do you want me to do that again? Do you want me to do that?
No. No, wait a minute. Think about this for a minute. Hasn't Jeff always done that? Oh my God, Jeffrey!
I don't think I've done the yours truly all the time. I might have done it more than once.
You've done it. I know you did it with Taco Tuesday, which is our last guest spot. Now I'm thinking you've done it with all of them.
Wait, what did I say with Taco Tuesday?
Yours
maybe on one of the maybe like a meme of the week or something like that. I can't remember.
Maybe.
What have you done, Jeffrey?
Whatever.
You're taking credit all over the place, Jeff.
I am unintentionally taking credit, and I don't mean to. I rescind all credit. I give it back to you as a rebate. All right, there you go. Take it back.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still plenty available. Chapters available. There's also the free for alls. I think there's one coming up. It's actually it'll be already gone by the time this episode comes out, so I don't know why I brought it up. But in August, on the 6th of August, for high stakes, there'll be a free for all, which means that anybody can post for that one. And obviously, we encourage everyone to go and post as many as possible. We always like those.
Oh yeah.
But it does seem like most of August and then beginning of September, there's plenty of free slots there. So go and sign up for that and make sure that we get that all filled up and get a meme for every single chapter. It's good.
Yeah, get it in there.
And obviously, yes, thank you very much, Sir Spaceman, for organising this as usual.
Yeah, love it.
He's always very good on the organisation.
Such a leader in the community.
Yeah.
We love it. We love it.
I feel like he's just maybe at some point should take public office and like leads people, but
Little do we know. Oh, sorry. George, by the way, speaking of Reddit, what do you know? What's the count now? Like how many days we have until we can try to get back on?
I've lost count. I've completely lost count.
All right.
I reckon we should just wait until the anniversary of when we got banned and just try, see what happens.
All right, but
the anniversary hasn't been that long.
October it'll be.
So okay, but and yours when you deleted that last one, that was how long ago now?
I think that was about 2 months ago.
Okay, so we're close. Okay, I think around September, we'll try to come back in October. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if we don't get
keep an eye out for that, folks.
Yeah,
I won't be posting ever. I'm never going back on Reddit again because I can't be trusted.
You cannot be trusted. You absolutely can't. Yeah, you can't
I'll
log
get drunk
in anywhere.
And start arguing with people again. That's it.
You cannot log in. You're done. I'm sorry. I love you, but you're done. But let's get back to our, just our mid-book review of Red Country. Basically, we're Shy, Lamb, Temple. They're at Crease. What do you guys? What's something that stands out to you so far? As up until the point we're at right now.
I like the fact that it's more of a sort of. Joe's always done sort of. I want to say alternate history, but it's not really alternate history. You know what I mean? There's lots of
he's taking history as inspiration. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like that, but I feel like this is the one that has the most. It's almost like a 1-to-1 of the Westworld expansion in America. Yeah, and it is pretty much essentially that with a few things swapped around. So I think that's quite interesting that he chose. Obviously, you would have to do that if you're doing a Western. Like a lot of the things that make a Western are exactly that. It has to be that sort of time period, that sort of.
Right.
But I like it. I think it's good, and I want to see more of that. I know we're going to get to the Industrial Revolution and Age of Madness and that, but I want to see what other kind of time periods that Joe can.
That does it. Like you want like a very close 1-to-1 That kind of thing. That's what you're looking for. Yeah. Okay. I could get that. I could get behind that.
Because like seeing how good this is and how he can take, you have little sort of conversations about certain things. The ghosts being pushed out of their territories and slowly kind of like devolving. Which is a very fucking sad thing. And at the same time, they're still sort of like the bad guys, but
the bad guys, but
Yeah, he handles that topic really well, doesn't he? Like, I think so. Like, he does. He is kind of like, ooh, they're savages, but then he's also like, yeah, but look how sad they are. He's like, don't you see how they've gotten to this point? Wouldn't you be like this too?
Yeah.
Are you really think you're better than them? Really? But then he's like, ooh, look, they took scalps, and you're like, oh.
No,
which is, I mean, to be honest, it's not super like incorrect. I mean, some of the tribes did do that, and they were very violent, but it doesn't mean they weren't pushed to that for no reason. So it's just, I think
some tribes were just well. Some tribes were just violent. They were just violent. What
some
was that
one?
What was that one? The ones that even like all the other. The Comanches. I think they were just straight up psychos that even everybody else was like, don't mess. Nah, man, we don't want them.
Nah, man, don't beg with these guys. Nah.
Hell
no.
Hell. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, what I really like about Red Country is the fact that, all right, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Because I'm not as wide read in fantasy as I could be. And I am taking steps to rectify that, but not a lot of Western fantasies.
No,
not in the same vein at all. Obviously, a lot of fantasy. You just look at Game of Thrones, the Song of Fire and Ice. It's obviously a very simple medieval fantasy,
right?
Or medieval history, but just retold in a fantasy setting.
Right. You got your Tolkien, your Lord of the Rings. You got your Gardens, Malazan. You got what else? There's plenty of stuff out there, but I haven't read like a lot of like Western fantasy. So when this came about, and the fact that Lamb Logan it makes an appearance, and this is like basically the curtain call to the story, I was like, oh, this is just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
It's perfect.
And just how tight the story is. Like I said, mainly two perspectives, and that's all we're getting most of the time. And it's told well across just two perspectives. It's all the the distance that they travel, the events that they go through. I think it's just
Temple's a cowboy,
Temple's a cowboy.
Temple's a cowboy.
Yeah, technically he is a cowboy. He is a cowboy. That's true. That is true.
I pull a what is there anything that you guys think of? And because I'm obviously in a negative mood, is there anything you guys would want more of from the book? Something you wish that would have a perspective or a part of the story that you feel is under that you think Joe could have done better? Not just like I wish he would have done more world building, not like that, not something out of his style, but something more that you feel like he could have done better.
I wish we got a little bit more Shivers, but then I guess it does work for the story because you can't see him too much if he's on a mission, But I wish we saw a little bit more of him. Maybe here's the thing. I know I just like complimented like how he told the story across two perspectives and kept it at that. But maybe another like perspective that was still with the company of the Gracious Hand with Nicole McCosker is just to continue to see how bad it's been getting before we see them again.
You should definitely. I'd love to see them cross in the plains, and they're all like just in complete disarray constantly.
That would be good. I would like that too.
Yeah.
I wish we'd got more ghosts. To be honest, I think there's such an interesting sort of like a cultural like idea that I just wish that we maybe got a few more perspectives or maybe even a full fucking main character.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree.
I think there's a lot more that could have been explored there that really isn't. But again, it is a bit of a I don't want to not touchy subject, but it's something that you've got to be very delicate with in order to not offend people and not be just
remember.
I say not offend people, but be unfair.
Well, let's not forget these ghosts, they're not Native Americans. They're soulless gingers.
Oh yes, I almost forgot. I got those mistaken.
Yeah.
All right, that's you don't need to be so delicate with them.
Sir, it is my husbandly duty to remind you that my wife is a redhead. You sick son of a bitch. And just because she doesn't have a soul doesn't mean she can't love. I will be sleeping on the couch tonight.
Don't get me wrong. I love redheads. I'm just saying, we don't have to worry about delicacy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So, yeah, I can see it with George when he said like more ghosts. Yeah, absolutely. To do a nice deep dive on that culture would be really cool.
Yeah,
because
that would be cool.
we get a little bit of it from not Sangeed. What's the other dude? Lockway. We get a little bit, in terms of like his fear of like their place in the world and like the future, right? And then we get like, I guess, some allusions to Crying Rock's past, but kind of not too, because I know she is a ghost, grew up with them, but also grew up with the other, I'm not gonna say their names yet, but so would love to get more like backstory and insight into Crying Rock, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, do we get a POV?
No.
In one of, no, not
from Crying Rock. Not from Crying Rock. No.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I mean, Crying Rock does seem like she's kind of played off a little bit as comic relief, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit,
which is okay. Some characters do need to be more comic relief than others. If you're going to spread it all over the characters, it doesn't work as well.
I do always forget about Crying Rock, but I don't know. Then there's that POV of Dab Sweet whenever he's like, you're just as beautiful as the day I met you, basically, that line, essentially. And you're like, oh, it's so beautiful. I love them.
They are good characters. I am going to say once again how much I despise Dab Sweet. I fucking hate him.
Hey.
He's such a bastard. He's got those kids killed.
Look,
the kids.
It was the one time that it went awry, okay? It just had to happen with, Shy and Lamb and...
It had to happen.
Is
that what you just said?
All that for like 500 fucking marks. What a...
5,000.
That's not how much they were going to settle on, though, was it? It was 2,000, and then they'll probably split it, so maybe 1,000.
Right, yeah. Well,
it's not a huge amount of money, You're probably not going to retire on that,
And that's why he's building a fund. That's why he had to keep doing this.
Yeah, he's building a hedge fund.
Do you reckon he's going back to the bank?
Yeah, Valent in
between. He's going to Valent and this is where Baez ties into it.
Oh God, don't! What is the new conspiracy theories that Baez?
That's why he sent yourself in the shape of a cow.
Oh my God! He hires Dab Sweet to rob fellowships. Is that your new conspiracy theory? To fund the bank's ventures?
It's just one of his many fingers in many pies,
Yeah. Never a moment of peace.
Hey, Dab Sweet.
And be like, what the fuck? The classic Joe Abercrombie, like Stephen Pesey. What the fuck?
The fuck?
That's funny.
Oh, that's great. That's hilarious. Let's take a moment now for our next segment, which is our best meme of the week. Georgie boy, that's you. Take it away.
So this is Socrat090666 again. I think this is last week they had the meme of the week. This does tend to happen quite a lot where you have somebody who just goes on like an absolute splurge and they post like 10. Yeah. So you end up with a splurge.
Splooge.
Yeah, no, not a splurge, not a splurge.
A splurge.
I love that. You're like, no, wait.
No. Not cutting that out.
Okay. Anyways, what did he splooge this time, George?
Says, say one thing about Logan Ninefingers. Say he's a great trash talker, and it's the bit from it's the SpongeBob meme with the funny text. It's like nobody, the bloody nine, stone shizzer. Because that is just a great line. It is so fucking simple and so
It is. It's awesome.
I love it. I think that's absolutely brilliant. It just goes to show that this violent, series with so many like life lessons in it is just so fucking funny at the same time. I don't know how he does it.
It is a very funny series.
Oh, so yes, thank you very much for that, Socrat 090666.
Socrat, thank you. Appreciate it. And so we'll just get back to kind of wrap up the mid-book review. As you know, these episodes tend to be a little shorter most of the time unless we get like crazy with it.
Usually if I'm drinking, because I end up talking for 10 minutes straight about something.
Well, we love that though, George. We love that for you.
Maybe next week, you never know.
And so, in wrapping up this episode, I wanted to ask the boys, what do you guys think about the cameos of characters from previous books, both under their real and their assumed names? And basically, what do you think about how they're written into the story, where they're at in their lives and in their cycles? What are your thoughts?
Well, right from the beginning, I think there's a load that just get dropped like straight away. So we got like Brince and Pike. They pop up for like a quarter of a chapter, and they're just like, "Yep, we're going to pay you to go and do this. We just put down this rebellion." And Pike is a lot more somber and creepy than he used to be. And
I don't know about creepy,
now
but
he's
he's out here. He's a racist. I think
always has been.
Always has been. Yeah.
I think Pike. I don't know about creepy because isn't he like feeding birds and shit? And
I think that's creepy. If you're in a meeting and you're just sat there feeding birds, I think that's weird, man.
All right, somebody hates avians. Jesus Christ. All right, and Brent.
He's not wrong, and you know it, Jeffrey.
Oh my god,
that's weird as fuck.
You guys are weird. Don't like birds. Brent has one arm, and he is a racist. So you lose an arm, you gain bigotry. I guess I don't know.
And then the other one as well that really doesn't. It kind of gets a little bit moment at the end, but Friendly obviously pops up as well with Casca, and he's just doing the same old thing he always was. It's just like, yeah, I like to count stuff. That's Friendly.
Yeah. So we see Casca, we see Friendly, Pike, and Brent. Do we?
Well, we got the ones here. I mean, I know that they're coming up there like next episode, and we kind of already alluded to, but we also have. Carla Den Ida pops up as a wild one. Shows up as the mayor, and then obviously Glamour Golden, as some big ones that aren't like Logan.
Glamour
Golden doesn't seem like a big one, but we'll get to him here fairly shortly. Which is, his personality is so much different. So
it is. It's a striking difference compared.
Which is cool and a really good parallel to Lamb, who is obviously not different.
He is. He's just tired of it.
I like the fact as well that you can sort of get where Glamour Golden came from because of what happens in the Heroes. It's said that Calder's going to have Korichi killed and blame it on Glamour Golden.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that then he gets chased down out of the north, and he has to go and do these boxing matches basically to make his living.
And you know what? It also makes sense why Carla Den Ida is out there in the fucking far country to get away from the long cock.
After she backed the wrong horse again.
She didn't back the wrong horse. It's just fucking Monza forced her.
It's true.
Right?
It is true.
He had her stabbed with what she thought was poison.
Listen, I'm a big Carla fan, but she made one serious mistake in her life, and she wants to act like it wasn't her fault, and that's a big mistake.
Well, are we talking are we talking about the betraying the Union for Endagaska?
No, actually, no, not that. Actually, her mistake was going back to the Union after Glockter told her to stay away. If she hadn't done that, he would have let her be.
You know what? You're right.
And she could have actually probably lived a really fucking good life. But instead, she chose to be a power-hungry bitch and is suffering for it. And it's like, oh, just one disaster to the next. I mean, she's very capable, but she's like the character who thinks she's the main character, but doesn't realize that she's not.
Okay, so I'm interested in your choice of the word bitch when talking about Carla being power hungry. So why did you say that, and tell me why is it
Because she
misogyny?
did it because
Why
she
is it
thought she
misogyny?
could.
Huh?
She did it because she thought she could, and it's not misogyny.
Chauvinistic
Jeffrey.
pig. Because she's a
She was.
woman, she can't be power hungry. So, Harrison doesn't like strong women, folks. Apparently.
I kind of agree with Harrison though. Like her mistake was
Yeah,
being being
that was
cocky and being like, I'm
real.
gonna
Yeah.
fuck over Glockter for no reason.
No, for sure. Yeah, messing. Yeah, obviously, messing with Harrison and everything, but it's true that was her singular mistake because it put her back on Glockter's radar, and then once he became the Arch Lector, well.
Well, I kind of feel like as well in Best Served Cold, like after the whole thing with Ariel and Foscar, or in Sapani, she could have just disappeared then as well and not gone and tried to get Shivers to kill Monza. Like she didn't have to do that either.
Yeah, but I mean,
true.
at that point, if I'm Carla, I want this bitch to die. So yeah,
Fair enough.
I don't blame her for that. Like, yeah, she probably didn't need to do that. But I mean, she can't go back to the Union. So she can't go to Rogan, whatever. So she has to go east, right? Goes to Austria, meets Rogan. I mean, did I say Rogan? I meant to say Duke Orso. Sorry. And so when she links up with Rogan, I mean, she's just doing what she got to do to survive, right? That's what she's got. That's what she's doing. So
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Alright.
And I see like, I just think like her going to the far country is like that's like how she can get away from the fucking, like I said earlier, the long cock of the Union. And obviously the Union is trying to knock on that door anyway.
That's true.
That is true. That is
Right.
true. It's Biaz
Because
up his old tricks.
because their rebellion really isn't Starkland, but Starkland is just like right next to the near country. And then by extension, the far country.
That's true.
Interesting. But we see that Carlotte hasn't changed. She still likes her nice things, her aesthetic, likes her good
Probably
drink.
the only clean place in Crease.
Oh yeah, I bet. Oh for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I like how she's like not been like diminished. I love this how these older characters who have been around for a while like are undiminished from their previous estate. They're not. They are different. They're older. They're more careful. They're more established. They feel like they're more like justified, but they still have that charm to them. They still have the things that we like that are appealing. Like I think that's so cool. I think Joe does such a good job at showing time pass really well in characters. We'll see more of that as the book series goes on, but this is the first book that it really you feel the difference, and
Yeah,
we see a lot of that in Age of Madness and stuff. It's really cool.
absolutely. What's another cameo that we haven't talked about?
Well, it's the fact that they have they mentioned? No, I haven't mentioned it. We won't talk about that yet.
I do want to say, it'd be funny if Shivers turned up in Crease and saw Carl at Donado. I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
He'd be like, "You're fucking around again, are you?"
That would be funny. That would be hilarious. Oh man. I mean,
obviously, we get Hedges pops up. He's obviously in the Heroes. Josef Lestek all the way back in Blade itself. We never thought we'd see him again.
Yeah, for real.
So obscure. Such a random thing to happen.
What did they say about his bios?
That sat there like going through flipping through his fucking like his notes, and he's like, "Who can I pick out?" Oh yes, Josef Lestek.
Josef Lestek.
Yeah, that's who I'll bring back. Oh, that is funny.
It's great, I think because like the characters still serve a purpose, especially him. When it's his time to shine, he shines, baby, he shines. Oh man, obviously there's Lamb, aka Logan Nine Fingers, BKA the Bloody Nine, but we talk about him a lot. I guess what is there anything that you want to say here? All right, how about this? What is different about the Lamb we see here right from the get-go in the middle of the book versus the Logan we saw when we first picked up Blade itself?
Well,
I know.
that is a good question, but I think more than anything, it's just the way that we see him now.
Yeah.
Is so different that whereas before, like, it was exciting when Logan was gonna, is he gonna go bloody die? And is he gonna like kill a load of guys? This is gonna be awesome. And now it's just kind of a bit sad.
Now it's now it's more like, please don't turn into the Bloody Nine. Please don't turn.
Yeah, we know what's gonna happen.
Do you think that we feel just as sad if we didn't have the other books?
No, definitely not. It wouldn't make any sense.
No, it wouldn't. I think it's really cool how like that's turned into it. Like as soon as we hear like we get to the end of Last Arcane Kings, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't good. Like, is he the bad guy? And so I love seeing that like that feeling, like you said, is different in this story, and it's so interesting that it is like how like again how these characters change over time. I think though the thing I like about Logan is in this story in particular is how he is not just he's not exactly the same. He has been changed by his past events. He is not more regretful, because he's pretty regretful inside the first series. There's a term I'm looking for. He's more accepting of himself, but he's not. But he's how long has it taken to just accept himself for what he is? And he's not to the point where he actually has decided he wants to be better. This is him testing that. And so far, it seems that he does not want to be better. But that's really, really well done, though. So I don't know. Logan's an amazing character. We all know it.
You have to be
He's
realistic.
the best.
You know what? Yeah. Here in Red Country, he's come around to the idea of accepting what he is. Much at an earlier point, right? We're talking about like, as soon as he saw that the kids were taken, he was like, "All right, fuck it, this is I'm gonna have to do," right? Versus
also, he seems to have had some mastery over himself as well, where people can take the piss out of him and insult him and do all these horrible things to him, and he's just like, "No, I'm all right, I'm fine, I'm not gonna get angry."
He's definitely more mature, which is a weird thing to say about him, but he is.
Well,
he is a more
older. He's you're in your 50s now, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what I noticed too, like, do you guys? I don't know if you remember this aspect, but do you remember like, especially like the blade itself and before they're hanged, especially that Logan was like clumsy. Like, he would go.
Yeah, he was constantly slipping around
or
and
slipping in like
Yeah.
like he almost like you almost expected him to like step on a rake and hit himself in the head, right? Whereas now, nah, he's all about business, but he doesn't fuck something up. He doesn't slip. He's not clumsy, and I think that's intentional, maybe.
Okay, that's a good point. I never thought about it that way, Jeff, but I did always think about how like, one, comedic relief.
Yeah.
Two, the way that Logan is very much like we don't see him all the time inside this story. So the idea that he is like for example, whenever he's at his quote unquote peak inside in the what we hear about him, the things he does, and the things he does in Last Argument of Kings, he does not slip up in Last Argument of Kings like at all, because he's honed. I think part of him slipping and sliding around in like before they hanged is about him being out of practice. Well, I think he even talks about that.
I think he does say out of practice, right? But I think what I mean to say is like, so we saw that for at least 2 books, right? The blade itself before they're hanged, right? And then kind of like not so much, when he kind of comes to terms, like after his conversation with Bethod, with what he is and who he is, right? I'm saying now in Red Country, you don't see that from him because he knows what he is, and he's not fighting it. And I think maybe that clumsiness in the first 2 books came from like his desire to be a better person and to not be, like what he was. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and maybe that was like a physical manifestation in the real world of that like battle between himself.
Yeah,
maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I don't know.
No, I mean, I think that's probably an aspect of it. That's what's so cool about Joe's books is the fact that you can have those kinds of lines and thoughts without it being like outlandish. Like it does make sense in a way. I'm just not sure if that's what he intended, but it's cool.
Yeah. Anything else about Lamb or any other cameos you boys want to point out?
No. I reckon that's good.
You think you're good?
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, I think that'll be it for us. That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you know, this is a passion project for the three of us, and your support means oh so much.
Join us next week as we cover Words and Graces, That's Simple, and Yesterday's News.
And make sure you follow us on all of our social media or shoot us an email at circleoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast from. And please make sure to rate and review us. Thank you all again for listening.
Stand together or die alone.